Hey everybody, it's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean. We're going to get started on today's core and stretch class a little earlier than usual, but of course you can watch whenever's right for you. Make sure that you have a strap nearby and one light to medium weight. I'm going to have a 5 pounder. Um, you know what? Make it two light to medium weights, and I think might use the 8 pounds as well. All right, let me just make sure everything is streaming. And if you followed my instructions from the get-go and you'd already gathered those things, we're going to meet on the floor in child's pose. Yay! Awesome. So just make sure that those props are somewhere nearby because we're going to get into using them from the floor. As you come into child's pose, let it be any child's pose that feels right for you today. Maybe your legs are closed. Maybe you decide to open your knees, bring your toes together, make some more space for your belly, or with your legs closed, you get a little bit of pressure. So good to help out with digestion and elimination if that's a challenge you're dealing with right now. If your arms all the way forward feel like too much, take a generous bend in your elbows, as generous of a bend as you want. And let's just hang out here for the next couple of breaths. Start to relax your mind. Let go of everything else that's happening and just focus on this breath, this moment right now. Because there are so many things that happen throughout the day that we can't necessarily control, but we can enjoy where we are at this moment, even if the next moment is a total S show, you know. Really start to notice your breath. Like, where do you feel it expanding? Can you create some big expansion on the back side of your body, between each of your ribs? Give it a try. One more super slow, intentional inhale, the biggest, longest, deepest that you've had all day. Take a moment at the top, enjoy your lungs being full, chest being filled, and then exhale, let all of your stale air out. Try to get out every last drop and enjoy the sensation of lungs empty. And then once you're done, go ahead, press yourself up into tabletop, give yourself a couple cat cows right here. So still letting your breath be your guide. Feel free to hold in any of your cat-cow stretches for a little bit longer, or maybe it feels good today to just take a nice flow. We'll take one more minute here to just find any sort of shimmy and shake that you like, and continuing your intentional, slow, steady breath. All right, start to come back into a neutral tabletop and make sure that you have some space behind you. I walked up a little higher on my mat. Hands, palms are still underneath of your chest, shoulders, and hips are right on top of your knees. Keep your right leg where it is. And go ahead, send your left leg out behind you. Get the ball of the foot down on the floor, and then take a couple rocks back and forth. Get a good stretch into your calf. as your heel presses and then releases. And then find a place where you can hang out for a couple seconds, really enjoying this calf stretch. You get a little squeeze in your glutes. Make sure you're not collapsing in your shoulders. You can even pull your core in. Release that stretch gently, still left leg back behind you. Take a big inhale, lift your left leg up and cross it over the right side of the body. Bring all of your toes down to the floor and then look over your right shoulder. You can even shift your hips over to the left to enhance that stretch. And on your inhale, eye gaze back forward, shift your hips back to where they were. Bring your left leg back with your right. And take one more cat, one more cow. Find your neutral tabletop again. And go ahead, send your right leg back behind you. Bring the ball of the right foot to the floor. Take a couple pumps with your leg. Just starting to engage your glute, engage your calf a little bit more. And then find a place where you can hold it. Heel probably dropped a little more towards the bottom of the mat. Maybe you feel it a lot in your quad. Maybe you feel it more in your calf. Just going to depend on what you've been up to lately. Keep your right leg long, but shift the weight back forward. Inhale, lift your leg up, cross over the left side of the body, and then turn and look over your left shoulder. Perhaps you shift your hips over to the right, enhance the stretch. Just a couple slow breaths. Great. Turn your head back to center. Shift hips back to center. Bring your right leg in. Go ahead, lift yourself up. Let's come up onto our knees. And we're going to bring the right leg forward just in a 90 degree stretch. So no super emphasized hip opener just yet. So right leg is forward, right heel is underneath of your knee. I want you to press your left knee down towards the floor. Even a little squeeze of your glutes. Hips might come a little forward. You're going to feel an opening of your left side hip flexor and that left quad firing up. Stretch your fingers down to the floor. Decompress your shoulders. And then inhale your left arm up overhead. Shift your hips to the left again. Reach your fingers over to the right. Keep your chest lifted. Left shoulder comes back. Think about squeezing your inner thighs in towards each other. And then inhale, lift yourself up, relax your left hand down, and walk, wiggle your right foot forward. Start to flex your toes back to your face. Your hands can stay right here at your hips, or you can hinge forward, maybe hands come to the floor. Find a hamstring stretch that is meaningful and noticeable for you today. And then on your exhale, bring the sole of the right foot to the floor, shift the weight forward. Let's just keep our hands on top of our thighs, unless you want to go deeper. And do your best to bring your two hips in one line. So right hip forward might have shifted as you brought your right leg forward. So pull that right hip back. Squeeze those inner thighs in a little bit. Awesome. Bring your hands down to the floor, walk, wiggle. Find your way to bring that right leg back to meet with the left. Go ahead, step your legs back for a moment. Let's take a couple breaths in plank. And I know we still need to get the other side. We're just getting a little bit more core work here, a little bracing. Hi, Freddie Freds. I don't think you guys can see her, but she's right here at the corner looking me in my eye gaze. All right, walk your knees back in. Press yourself up. Cool. Bring your left foot forward, finding that 90 degree stretch. Stretch your right knee down into the floor. Still working to keep that left hip gently shifted back a little bit though. Awesome. Start to walk, wiggle your left foot forward. Whoop. Thanks, couch. Ooh, things are real tight on this side. which is normal because remember, both sides of the body are not the same. So find the hamstring stretch that works for you today. I'm going to stay right here, but maybe you fold it forward. One more big inhale. On your exhale, bring the sole of the left foot to the floor, shift weight forward, just a slightly different hip opener. Work to bring that left hip back in line with your right so you're not opening up towards the right side of the room. Right, birdie, birdie. I love you. You're my only pet now. Oh, wait, there's let me go to fish. All right. Let's go ahead. You can bring your hands down to the floor. You can bring your legs back. One more cat, one more cow, maybe. And then walk yourself all the way back. We're actually going to lay down on our sides. No, I lied. Let's start on our glutes. Jessica. Been a crazy couple hours here, everybody. All right, so go ahead, grab your strap. Let's just kind of open up, warm up the shoulders a teeny little bit, and then I promise we'll use these weights. So holding onto your strap or maybe your belt, if that's what you're working with today. Ground through your sit bones. Take a big lift of your chest and notice if maybe like me, lifting your chest made you splay your rib cage out. I want you to pull that rib cage back in. It'll help also take that rounding out of your back. So big lift of your shoulders without your strap even. Let's just inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Just keeping this length in your spine 2 more times. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Getting a little warm up into our lats, into the shoulders. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Now grab hold of the strap, changing the range of motion. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Maybe you need to open your hands a little bit wider so you can bring both arms down behind you. Can you bring them both down at the same time? You might find that you're just feeling really tight today and you need to bring your left and then your right up, and then same thing with going forward. But can you open your arms a little bit wider to just find this full circle? Only way to find out is to give yourself a try. And if that feels really easy, maybe you can walk your hands in a little bit closer, but be mindful of your body and do what feels good. If it seems scary, change it up. Let's get 2 more times in each direction. Nice and slow with your breath. I know I'm moving a little fast. Inhaling up and exhaling back. Keep that rib cage pulled in. Last one. Inhaling up, exhaling back. Good. Still grounding on your sit bones. Bring your hands in front of you if you can, and take a little forward fold. Feel free to allow your chin to come down to your chest. We got one more stretch into the sides of the body, so walk your hands all the way over to the right. As you walk your hands over to the right, left shoulder can come forward more, left sit bones come into more contact with your mat. And then start to walk your hands all the way over to the left. Right sit bone stays down on the mat. Right shoulder comes forward. Fred is doing some early morning recycling. Such an environmental friendly bird. Environment. All right, walk your hands back forward. We get to lay back down. You're welcome. All right, bring your weight with you. We're going to lay down on our side and get a little side crunch action. So as you lay down on the floor, left arm can extend on the floor in front of you, and right arm is going to come up towards the ceiling. You can bring your legs forward at like a 45-degree angle. You can still keep a slight bend in your knees too, and that might help you lift up a little bit more as opposed to having your legs really straight. Ooh, legs straight. Put some tension in my hips too. All right, from here, you're going to exhale, reach up, and inhale, lower yourself down. You can use as much pressure onto the floor as you want to find that exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. And you're going to challenge the shoulder just by holding the weight right here. We start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So we're going to exhale up, inhale, down. Your head doesn't have to come all the way to the mat. And you're going to use that full length of your breath. Full exhale to find this little crunch and squeeze. You're working to decrease the space between your lower rib and your hip. And if you don't need to apply pressure of your lower arm on the floor, then don't challenge yourself to really use your obliques. We've got just a couple of breaths left here. For 3, 2, 2.5, 1. Awesome. Carefully release your arm back down. We're going to roll over onto our backs. I'm mixing it up just a little bit. I want you to just hold that weight above your chest. Go ahead, straighten your arms out nice and long, and same thing. We're just going to punch up to the sky and lower back down. Work to lift your head up off the mat in the C curve. Let's get started right now. So you're looking towards your toes a little and then lowering yourself back down. If you're really having trouble doing this with straight legs, you can also see how it feels to bend your knees, maybe dig your heels into the floor to really try and work your lower abs. If you're barely coming off of the mat, that is okay too. Take some time to really build flexibility in your spine, in your lower abs. We've got just about 10 seconds left. For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Relax down. You can roll right over to your opposite side. I'm going to flip over so I can see you, or see me, I guess. And also the timer. We got just about 5 seconds till we get started. So extend that bottom arm down to the floor. Take that slight bend of your legs. You can bring them forward and let's go. So exhale up, slowly inhale down. Exhale up. Remember, you're just working to decrease that space in your side between your lower rib and your hip. Great work. Halfway there right now. Final 10 seconds. You got this. You're worth it. What can you do today? For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release your arm down slowly. Roll onto your back. Once again, let's one more time find those punches to the sky. If you want, you can even bring your second weight to the party and punch up with both weights, make things a little bit more challenging. Set yourself up, arms up high at chest height. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So exhale up and inhale down. You're punching a little forward. So the weight's staying over the chest, but remember the chest is lifting. And we're keeping it in a small movement. We're not sitting all the way up. Lower back is staying down on the floor. Almost there. For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Lower those arms down. Let's make our way to our feet. Take your time as you get there. Next move that we're going to do is going to still have a little bit of a focus on the shoulders, on the lats, which we spent some good time warming up before. Let's go ahead and get some side lat raises. So round number 1, we're going to go out to the side and then up to the front, and then we'll turn it into a fun little combo. We start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Slight bend in your knees, out to the side, shoulders height, up to the front. Awesome. Side and front. And if you're having some trouble, you can always do one arm and then the other. And then same thing to the front. You can try the same move with absolutely no weights. Just a couple more seconds. Keep your core pulled in nice and tight for 3, 2, 1. I'll finish there so we can be even, Steven. All right, we're going to do those front side lat raises one more time, but we're going to bring the abs a little bit more into play. So with that slight bend in your knees still, you're going to lift to the front and side at the same time. Rotate around and then release it back down and then up from the opposite side. You're ready? Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So up. Find that rotation, core stays really tight. So you have to pull your belly in so that the only thing really moving is your arms above the top of your chest. You're not creating that rotation by moving your hips. Do you still have a nice slight bend in your knees? I hope so. Awesome. Keep it up for 3, 2, 1. You made it. Let's go ahead, hit the floor one more time. Get some quick work into our lower abs, and then we'll stretch it out to the end. So one more time, laying down, bring your weight or weights with you. We're gonna send those weights up towards the sky, holding them right above the chest. And then from there, we're gonna drop one leg at a time on the opposite leg. You can keep your head on the floor or a little extra challenge, lifting your shoulders off the mat in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So dropping one leg and then the other with control. Lower back stays on the floor. That's the most important thing. If that means that maybe you're dropping your legs to a 45-degree angle instead of trying to come into this 90-degree angle, or if you need to keep your head on the floor, or maybe you need to just bend your leg to bring it down while you're just working on building your personal strength. 10 seconds left for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release your feet back down to the floor. Relax your arms back down to the mat. Let's get one more move. That'll be a nice combo for our upper and low body with these knees bent. Maybe you turn your heels in a hint, toes out a tad. We're going to go for a glute bridge, finding that nice squeeze into your glutes. And while we're there, we'll also take a delightful chest press. So let's start together. Arms right here by your chest, heels in, toes out. We're going to press up in 3, 2, 1. Press everything up. You can take a slight bend in your elbows. Open arms nice and wide for a fly. Bring it back in, and then everything comes down. Press back up. Arms go out. Arms go in. They go down. However heavy your weights are really going to determine the pace that you're moving. I want you to really press your heels, press the baby toes even into the floor. Press your big toes into the floor. So much contact of your feet with the mat to really help stabilize and fire up those glutes, pushing them nice and high. Let's get 10 more seconds right here. You're so worth it for 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Awesome. Go ahead, extend those legs nice and long. Extend your arms all the way up overhead. Stretch through your heels, stretch through your fingers. And let's come on back to a nice side body stretch. So hips stay right where they are. Walk your legs a little further over to the right. Bring your upper body over to the right. Maybe you're grabbing hold of your fingers. Maybe you can grab hold of your wrist or your elbow, taking a nice banana stretch. If you want, you can even cross your left leg over your right leg. Gentle push of your hips to the left side. Relax your shoulders on the mat. Come back to your breath. If you cross your ankles, uncross your left leg from your right. Bring your upper body back to center. Walk your legs back to center. Take a moment, full cycle of breath. Just melt into the mat once again, as if this is the first time that you're laying down for today. And then walk your legs all the way over to the left. Walk your upper body over to the left. Maybe your hands are separate. Maybe you linked a finger, holding hands, wrists, elbows, whatever feels good. Option to cross your right leg over your left. Remember, both sides of the body don't feel the same, don't act the same. So do what feels good for this side of the body. Whatever you are doing right now, I hope that you're so proud of yourself for showing up, for taking this time. I hope you, like me, understand that changing your breath is the best way to start to change your mental channel. So, last couple minutes together to tune into whatever quality programming you want. If you crossed your legs, go ahead, uncross your legs, walk your upper body back through center, walk your legs back through center, relax your arms down by your side. You can get them there any way you want to. And then go ahead, bend your knees. You can readjust your hips. Bring the heels together. Allow your knees to fall open. If your knees are outside of your thighs or nowhere near the floor, wiggle your toes back closer towards the bottom of the mat so you can try and find that relaxed opening and release of your hips. Maybe your hands even come to your hip flexors to help provide a little bit of warmth. And back to your breath, taking this last couple of stretches together to release our stored emotions in our hips, to just let it go. Every day, so many things happen, some good, some bad. What are you going to move forward with emotionally? On your next exhale, extend your arms wide to the side. Palms can either be face up to receive the good energy or face down for a little bit of grounding. Go ahead, clamshell your legs over to one side for a nice spine twist. One more big inhale here. And on your exhale, roll to your back. Well, once again, use your feet, shift your hips, and let's release knees to the opposite side, other side spine twist. Melt into the mat, into your breath, into this moment right now. Whichever direction your knees are facing, go ahead, close both arms in that direction. Take a moment in your recovery pose. While here, can you bring maybe some lightness to your face? Doesn't have to be a smile, but check in with yourself. Um, how serious or stressed might someone think that you look? And can you just soften a little bit? And then roll on over, coming back through tabletop. Tuck your toes under. From here, even with toes tucked under, a little extra stimulation of the feet. Give yourself one cat. Give yourself one cow. Neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes under, send hips up towards the ceiling, pedal through your heels. Belly towards thighs, biceps closer to ears. Look towards your toes. And then start to walk your hands to your feet to your hands, whichever feels better. If it's hard to keep your hands on the floor, grab hold of your elbows or even hands on your shins. Take a moment, shake your head yes. Take a moment, shake your head no. Shift weight more to your heels, bend your knees, slowly root to rise. At the very top, inhale, arms up overhead, stretch all the way up towards the ceiling. Reach a little bit more through your left hand fingers. Reach a little bit more through your right hand fingers. Back to center, stretch up. Make sure you're stretching from your waist, not just your shoulders. And then exhale, relax your arms all the way down by your side. Palms face in towards your thighs. Decompress shoulders. Stretching fingers down towards the floor. Glutes squeezed, hips forward, chest lifted, rib cage knit. One more big inhale. And exhale, release. You did it. We made it, everyone. I'm so glad that we got that in before someone comes to deal with what's happening in the kitchen. We're amazing. This felt so good. I hope you agree. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I can't wait to see you on Friday for some yin. Bye, everybody.